I'm excited about our next leadership message too, because our leadership lesson, this one is from someone who's been around a while and who's really looking forward to his next chapter of life. He's not going away, he's still going to be part of us, but in a different kind of shape and form. And he's had a wonderful, lasting impact on West Michigan. So please welcome the president of our own Grand Valley State University, Tom Haas.
I like that. That works pretty well. That's the other blue in town, by the way. That's called Laker blue. All righty. Well, it's great to be here and share a few moments of 45 years of leadership learning through my Coast Guard time and through a higher education as a teacher, all in 12 minutes. But I'm going to start off really with this. Leaders show up. Leaders show up. Andy gives me a call Andy Johnson gives me a call a couple weeks ago. He said, can you be here in Grand Rapids on the 6th? And I said, sure. Can you be here in the morning? I said, sure. I'm going to be going to Detroit later. I said, sure. You show up. Leaders show up. It's in our DNA, by the way, here in West Michigan. I'm looking around this room, some new faces to me, some faces that I've seen over these past 13 years. Leaders show up. But I'm a teacher in my heart of hearts. Chemistry is my discipline, but I've also been doing some leadership work in our executive MBA and been teaching leadership for probably about 40 years within the context of my time in the Coast Guard and beyond. So this is going to be interactive. You see these create great, okay? Pull them out. And everyone needs to participate in this. This is my 60-second activity with you. So you got it? You got a pen? Okay. On this, now, in your own, I'm going to give you 15 seconds now. I'm going to time it, because I got a timer right here. 15 seconds. I want you to jot down 3 characteristics of an effective leader. 3 characteristics of a successful leader. Go. 15 seconds. Jot it down. 15 characteristics of a effective leader. 3 characteristics of an effective leader. 5 seconds left. You got to write fast. Okay. Give you 3 more seconds. You got it down? Okay, good. Now around your tables, I want you to share around your tables and come up with the top 2 around your table, and you have 1 minute to do that. Ready, go. And I'm not kidding, 1 minute, ready, go. Thirty seconds. Fifteen seconds. You got your list. Top 2. And I hope you jotted them down on your card. 5 seconds left. 4, 3, 2, 1. All righty. Good. Pencil down. Pens down. Thank you for participating. But now we're going to do a little survey about this. And just raise your hand, because I've done this type of exercise many times with small groups and large groups. One of the groups I did this with was senior leaders as we ramped up the Department of Homeland Security. I was the dean at the Coast Guard Academy, and I said, hey, can you talk about leadership with this new group of people coming in from railroads and air and Coast Guard and all? And we did the same exercise. And it is one that it gets you to think. So I'm going to just do a quick survey, and if you had one or these, some of these, and I just jotted these down as well, just raise your hand at your table if you had this in your one and number two. Providing direction. Anyone? Okay, I see that. Inspiration. Good, a couple there. Courage. Okay, a couple there. Passion. Numbers there as well. Confidence. Couple there. Empathy. I see that as well. Let's see. Honesty and integrity. Good numbers there. Communication. A lot there as well. We heard that from Rick. A good humor. There we go. I like that. Thank you. Vision. Lots there too. We're all CEOs. Flexibility. Okay. Let's see. How about being a good teacher? How about it being a good learner? Maybe in terms of lifelong learning, we heard that as well. We heard that from the words with Fred. Really empowering others. Okay, see that hands there? Trust and respect. Okay, and finally, and there could be others too, celebrating successes. I think that those are some of the words that were used over really a lifetime of doing this exercise with students of all ages, of all backgrounds as well. So a little bit about me. I grew up in New York City. I'm here at Grand Valley State University. We had a family of limited means. My mom and dad didn't graduate from high school, but they believed in the power of education, about learning, and I stand tall on their shoulders as well. My dad was a World War II veteran. He was a cook in the Navy. He said he was on a destroyer. He was in charge of morale, and I believed him. So, but it was really good. So what I want to do, though, is in terms of leadership lessons and built on this idea of who we are as an individual, those leaders, those effective leaders, those characteristics. There are, in my mind, you put an adjective in terms of leadership and call it virtuous leadership, doing the right things for the right reasons. That is what I believe truly is. You show up and you do the right things for the right way and the right reasons. I do have what I call, and I like alliterations, I have my 4 C's of leadership. And I look at it this way: you have to have the knowledge base. You have to be competent in what you do. You as CEOs and others that are working with you, you have to have the competency in order to do the job. That gives you the confidence then to go forward in making those decisions. And if you don't have the data sets, you find out. You've got to get that knowledge. You have to have the competency to make those decisions. One of the fundamental roles of a leader. And then you understand the second C is community. It's creating team. And we heard that with Rick's identification earlier in his presentation. But community is very, very important, and it actually provides a great deal of trust between people. And you'll hear in just a few minutes, I believe within that context, that inclusion is so important. And understanding in my world at the university, diversity as an intellectual asset to bring forward for our students to succeed. I'm always laser focused on that mission at the university, wherever I was, whether it be in the Coast Guard or in higher education, helping us achieve the mission, and that was to be successful as students at a university or beyond. And the third of the C's is commitment. You have to be committed to the mission. And I think that's really critical, because from that commitment, you heard some of the other ideas of what effective leadership is, but it really is commitment to the mission. And in my regard, too, I grew up where you have a chain of command in the Coast Guard, in the military, and I do believe in the chain of command, but I do not believe it in a vertical sense. It's a horizontal. You link arms. You have everyone on the team who have their roles and responsibilities to each other, and the North Star is the mission. That, to me, is leadership. You're going to provide that. And oh, by the way, along the way, if you are making decisions, I always use what's called but sir. A but sir. If we made a decision as a group and a team, and some colleague says, well, maybe that really wasn't the best way to go, wasn't right, the strategy, wasn't aligned with mission, you do a but sir, and I've had many of those in my career. And so a but sir isn't a sense of weakness, it's a sense of strength for a leader. So remember, the accountability is not vertical, or it's horizontal. And so I do think, though, if you take those first 3 C's, the glue that keeps them together, character. Character of the individual. That's why I think if I was to prioritize those skills, those attributes of an effective leader, honesty and integrity is there. It's one of my watchwords, actually. I'm, again, a Coast Guard guy. I have these watchwords. Relevance is important in my role as a university president, but also in terms of the integrity that I bring to the mission, I really want to make sure that that's one of my watchwords as well. And I do think service is critical too. We are all using our intellect, that competency and community and commitment to help this world be better places, as Fred pointed out in his slides as well. But I do think that that character is the glue. It's really the habits of heart and mind that communicate with one another. If there's another, show up, trust in my word. Trust in my word. I learned that from a great mentor of mine, Jim Loy. Jim Loy was my basketball coach at the Coast Guard Academy in 1969. That was the last century, as we know. And he went on. He was a very, very fine teacher. And what he was able to impact on us as a team of 18-year-olds was just that, all the way. You're going to develop leaders here on the basketball court. Trust in my word. Trust in each other. Trust in my word again. And he went on to be the 4-star admiral. He became the TSA first director of the Transportation Safety Institute. And then he was the number 2 to Tom Ridge, and then became secretary of the Department of Homeland Security. He was a mentor of mine throughout the years. That role of mentor and service is critically important in my mind. And then you have the notion of character drive these all together. And let me just kind of wrap it up in this fashion. Again, all my probably way I do remember things as well as I can is that when you do practice being a leader, and it does take practice, it takes continuous learning as well, but I have what's called my 3 P's plus 2 more. You need to have the ability to plan. I love strategic planning and perspective along the mission. So you plan, you prepare, and you perform. That came from Jim Loy. You plan, prepare, and perform. We did that on the basketball court. I did that when he was the Commandant of the Coast Guard, and I was working for him as the Dean of the Coast Guard Academy. You plan, prepare, and perform. But I heard Jerry Anderson recently, GTE president, and I needed to add, there was a little something missing, and he was able to fill it in for me. The 2 more P's. You connect people and purpose. Connect people and purpose. So I do think that that is a really critical way to take this mindset, this model of the 3 P's plus 2 more. So let me wrap up. I said, in fact, that there was the 5 C's. Excuse me, no, I said, what did I say, 4? No, there's 5. There's a 5th one. And it's all aligned with one of my last watchwords, and that is being a good steward. A good steward of place, a good steward of each other, a good steward of the future, because we do touch the future, ladies and gentlemen. Time in and time out, as CEOs of leaders in this community, we create the quality of life of work and play right here. And I'm thrilled with that. Last C is caring. It truly is. leaders do care. Leaders are good stewards. So I'm going to add that, as I did with the 2 P's, I'm going to add that 5th C for you. Caring. Caring about one another, showing up, doing the right things, and those 4 C's plus 1 really is what it's all about in terms of what I think effective leadership is. And my time is one where I have truly enjoyed being here at Grand Valley. And by the way, if there's anyone, we do have a pretty good school there, but it's always driven by the connections we have with the public-private partnerships. So if you want to do any internships, I got good talent for you, because I want to keep the talent right here in West Michigan. And truly, it is one of those things that I'm very, very proud of, where I can say that we're going to have the largest graduating class this past year of over 5,700 grads, and we're on track to have the 2nd highest number in our freshman class coming in. But we want to keep that talent right here. We can do it with you. On your note card there, put the name Troy Farley, communicate with him. We'll keep the talent here in West Michigan. Thank you. Go Lakers.
Yeah. Great presentation, thank you. When they said it was a costume change, I was picturing Cher, okay? But it's beautiful, really. Tom, thank you for.
This is looking pretty good.
Do you like it?
I like that, yeah. Like I said, the new blue in town. It's been around for a while, but it really looks good. Yeah.
So we want to thank you for all you've done, the Chamber, Rick and I, and for the community. We know that Grand Valley grows the talent for the future. 83% of all grads stay here in West Michigan. So we really relied on you for the future, and you brought it home for us. In your honor, we're creating a scholarship at the Grand Rapids Chamber for the education of young leaders. So thank you so much.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. That's great. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Perfect. Thank you all. God bless.
Thank you.